Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Sunny. How are you? Hi.
Hi. I am pretty good. I'm living my best life as a
Mm-hmm.
USPS delivery woman,
Mm-hmm.
and I take pride in my job. You know that. So, um,
I
yeah.
do know that. And it's funny because I know you're lying because I know that isn't your job. But funny enough, I literally had someone yesterday tell me that they're now working at the post as a post person. So I actually tripped out for a second. I was like, wait, was it Sunny? So you'd be surprised. I actually know people who work as postmen and postwomen. I feel like it's one of those jobs that you just think, like someone does that, but you never know that person. But
Yeah.
I know that person.
Yeah. No,
Crazy.
I do have a good
Yeah.
friend now who does deliveries. So
Yeah.
it's a booming
Um.
industry, especially with COVID.
But anyway, I'm glad that you like your new job. I'm guessing deliveries are a little bit tough right now with the pandemic and everything, but I'm sure you'll get through
Thank you.
it.
How have you been?
Anyway, I am good. I am both excited and also weirded out to talk to you because, well, I'm ready to record and also very excited to do so because of the topic that we have today. But also, it's weird because I was hoping that we'd find time to record when we saw each other a week ago.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we just did not, which is fine. It's fine because the reason we didn't find time was because we were too busy showing each other music recommendations, which is totally lit. I am now a Caroline Polishek fan, so
Let's
there's that.
go.
But yes, hi all. For those of you who don't know, Sunny and I don't record this like in the same room. We record this remotely. She's in Australia. I'm in Germany, and so we actually got to see each
We're well
other.
traveled.
Yeah, guten Tag. We actually got to see each other a week ago for my birthday. I won't say how old I am, but I am 42, and I look very good. And we were gonna record in person the way I actually did with Shannon. I don't know if you saw that, Sunny. You must have seen that. Um, did you?
I
Or
don't
did I
think
tell you?
so.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, because I just posted about it on the I guess it was a couple days ago on Friday maybe,
Mm.
on our page. I did a body reveal. You need to check that out. I did a body reveal with Shannon.
Oh, okay. Because wait, I saw the body reveal, and I was like, I
Yeah.
think that's Andre, but that's not me. So is this just like a stock image, or like? So
No, no,
okay,
no,
that
no,
makes
no,
way
no.
more sense. Okay.
No, so because I saw you,
Hmm.
and then the next day, my boyfriend and I drove. She's really close. She's only a couple hours away. So you're in Australia. You're in Perth. She's in New Zealand, and so we
Hmm.
just like we skipped that little pond, went there, and I was able to record with her. So that was
Whoa,
fun.
that's
Yeah, yeah, in
sick.
person for the first time too. Like same like with us. Like Shannon and I recorded this thing for like a year plus, and like we actually never
Yeah.
did it in person once. So that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Truly, truly.
But check that out. Check that out. Let me know if I don't even listen. I don't really think I listen to our episodes. Like, as in, I don't listen to any episodes of our own podcast because I feel like that's weird. But if you do, check that one out for sure. You're not in that one, so it'll be like actually listening to like an
Fresh
actual
content.
podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
interested. I'm interested. The main times I've listened, I have listened to some others, but the main times I've listened have been when editing, because it's like,
Yes.
gotta
Yes.
listen to
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so but I'm excited to record with you right now and talk about what we're going to talk about nonetheless. But before we get into that, which we'll tell you guys in a minute what that is, very, very interesting topic that Sunny picked actually. I have some pop culture news. I have some topical things to talk about for a sec. A
Let's
hot sec.
go.
Just us girls. Let's see. So, first thing that I thought was interesting was I don't know if you saw this, but you know who Rebel Wilson is, the girl
Mm-hmm,
from Pitch
mm-hmm,
Perfect.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so well, first off, she lost like 1,000 pounds, so good for her. Honestly, queen goal, queen status. We support body positivity, everything. She decided to lose a lot of weight, and she did it. Good for her. Anyway, so today, this is kind of related. She posted on her Instagram like a sad picture of her walking on the beach, and she was like, "Oh, turns out I have infertility issues, and that's sad. But like, I think it's okay because I got my eggs frozen, or some eggs frozen a couple years back. So like, I don't know. Fingers crossed. Like, it's like we'll see if that works out when I like want to have kids one day. But like, that's sad. That's sad.
Mm.
Thoughts?
Damn. Well, I didn't know. I had seen like the weight loss stuff. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah. If you want to have kids, that's a really sad thing to have to deal with. And I hope it works out with her frozen
with her
eggs.
frozen
And
eggs. I know.
yeah, honestly, and like cool of her to have done that. Talk about foresight.
I know. Talk about foresight. I heard that Paris Hilton is doing it too because I literally was thinking about that. Okay, first let me finish up with Rebel Wilson. Apparently, like part of the reason she lost so much weight, which I think she's lost like 60 pounds, was because it was also related to pregnancy, right? So it's like she wanted to be healthier, to be able to carry whatever, which like that isn't completely ruled out. Again, she has the eggs. Who knows? But uh, dude, Rebel Wilson, like kudos to you, and also best of luck. But I just thought it was like an interesting story. If anything, just because the way that she publicized it, it's just like
Yeah, yeah, because that's
listen,
something a
I'm
lot of
not
people have to deal with.
right, but also the picture she posted on Instagram to go alongside her very heartfelt message just looks kind of funny, which I don't know if that was on purpose. It's just like her in a sad beach, like looking to the side, but it's very much posed.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Sad days on the
right,
beach. I have
I
fertility
think
issues, everyone. Yeah, no.
listen, you can
It is
take
pretty
the girl
sad.
out of the funny, but you can't take the funny out of the girl. Am I right? So,
No, definitely. I feel like yeah, it's just more of an issue than I realized for a while. Like
mhm,
an older colleague of mine was talking about how she went to Mexico to
mhm,
get IVF a few times because it's like a half or a third of the cost there that it is here, and sometimes you have to do
mhm.
it multiple times. So if it's like $4,000 each time here, then that's just like an insane investment that not everyone can make. So yeah, I mean, she was talking about she's straight up traveling across borders just for the chance of being able to have a child. So
That
definitely
is
made me think
crazy.
on it. Yeah, yeah. Although
Yes.
personally, well, we discussed this, but personally, I'm not super set on having my own children, but I definitely can see
Mhm.
how that would be just like really important to a lot of people. So, best of luck
Yeah,
as always.
it is. I what's I gonna say? Yeah, it is important to a lot of people. It is interesting that a lot of people just like take it for granted, which like, I mean, I don't blame them. Like, if you don't have infertility issues, like, you go, you know. But like, I mean,
At
I
my
think about
mom who
this.
had 6 kids, you go girl. You did
You go,
that.
girl.
Fertility,
Go off,
fertility
sis. Pop
queen.
off wig. Yeah. Are you ever so fertile that you just need to pop off wig? Anyway, no, like for example, like me as a gay man, right? Like my boyfriend and I have talked about this, and we're like, I think we want to adopt. Like surrogacy
Mhm.
seems like kind of a nightmare. No shade to anyone who's done it, but we don't like it, and so we think we're
Mhm.
gonna adopt. And so and it's kind of it's interesting because like adoption is expensive and time consuming and stressful, and not that
Mhm.
a pregnancy isn't, but at least it's not as expensive. Like that factor is definitely different.
Mhm.
Not nearly as expensive as adopting a child, and so there's that. Like, if I ever want to have a kid one day, I'm gonna have to like drop 30K. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's lit. Um,
And that doesn't even begin to include like the actual cost of raising a kid,
right,
which are insane.
right. Which like I'm not bitter at. I'm just saying like, dude, fucking. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if you can have kids, you're lucky because there are people who will want to have kids in the future, like me, and like I can't just make that happen. Instead, I have to pay for it, which is a whole other thing. Like I feel like that makes me feel kind of slimy, but whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there's that. Also, hashtag adopt if you can and if you want, because there's a shit ton of kids out there that like would like a home.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So moving on from that very light note that we started the podcast on,
Yeah, wow. We're really good at choosing light topics, Andre. I feel like we never stray into stuff that's too serious or could be offensive.
uh,
Like
I
we
know,
really
I know.
stay on the straight and
Actually,
narrow.
last kind of note on this infertility thing. I was gonna say Paris Hilton froze her eggs a
Hmm.
couple years back because she was talking to Kim Kardashian about it, and Kim Kardashian told her, "Oh, if you don't want to have kids yet, like freeze your eggs because you're gonna turn 40 soon, and you want to have that option available to you. Like you need to freeze your eggs now." And she did, and right now Paris is 40, which is crazy to me because she doesn't look it, and I think you forget that some celebrities are way older than you think they are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean that's her whole shtick though, so of course she's gonna keep it up. Her whole shtick is being forever 21.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I love that she's like come out with this whole "I'm not who you think I am" thing recently, and like revealed her
I know,
actual voice. I'm actually living for it.
I know.
Yeah, yeah,
It's very Elizabeth Theranos, isn't it? That woman. I don't know if that was her last name, but that was the name of her company, Theranos. The woman who like is currently being like put on trial because she had this like medical company. I don't know if you've heard of this at all. And she like
mm-mm.
scammed people. It was like a whole thing. Anyway, she was known for having like a very deep voice, and I love how Paris usually talks like this. But recently in
Yeah,
interviews, she's like, "I am actually very smart, and the whole Barbie thing was just like a shtick to get people's attention for 2 decades." And it's funny because like,
yeah.
yeah, like I've known that for a while, but I think that the general public doesn't, and it's really funny.
Yeah, and also so funny that the deep voice is accompanied with a like "I'm actually very smart," as though her having a high voice automatically disqualified her from being smart. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Well,
Mm.
not consciously, but it's definitely a thing, and this
Oh
actually
yeah,
connects
yeah,
to
yeah,
this
yeah.
Theranos
Hmm.
woman. It's a thing in like I don't know if it's nature or nurture, but subconsciously, like women with lower voices do appear more trustworthy and smarter. I'm not
Yeah,
saying this.
yeah.
This is just shit that I've read online,
Oh no,
looked like
yeah, and I think
studies
it's
and
like
whatnot.
for everyone, like deeper voices are considered more trustworthy and stuff. Mm.
Right, that is very interesting though, because I think Kristen Chenoweth is a very trustworthy person. And if you don't know what she sounds like, I'll just leave that little nugget there for you, and you can look her up later. But
Okay.
okay,
Oh, last topical
yes.
thing.
What?
Cher. Um, I watched her Vogue video where she goes through like her most iconic looks
Uh
because
huh.
I've been obsessed with. I literally watch so much YouTube. It's completely out of this world. But Cher, I just think she's the greatest human being to walk this earth. If you've seen that clip, there's that clip of someone being like, well, are you gonna marry or something like that? And she goes, my mom told me I should settle down, marry a rich man, and I told her I am a rich man. And
Yes, I've seen that clip.
also a very deep voice, speaking of, which I think adds to like who she is as an icon. But just like looking through her old looks and like what she was doing, and she was the first woman to bare her midriff on TV and looked incredible doing it. And the
Mm-hmm.
saddest thing about the interview to me is that at one point she said, "I've never been that looking, and I've never cared that much." And I do love her like attitude because I can see how by Hollywood standards she wouldn't be good looking. But looking at all these old photos and like looking at her now, I just think she's gorgeous, and I feel like I just I don't know. I wish she felt that way too, even though she's coming at it from a very practical, like, I'm sure many people in Hollywood would think her nose is too big and like whatever else stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just was thinking about how much of an icon she is, and yeah. Oh yeah, and then also comparing men to dessert. She was like, "Men are like dessert. Don't get me wrong. I love men. They're just not necessary to live." And that also iconic, just like some of the best quotes of all
It's
time.
especially iconic because of the context, right? Of like when she said that, this was like in the early mid '90s, and it's not as like pop to say that. It wasn't as pop to say that back then as it is
Exactly,
now.
exactly. She was doing it before it was really like mainstream cool. Um,
Right, exactly.
yeah, and just love her forever and think she's the coolest, and everyone should watch her Vogue interview. That's all.
Totally. Yeah, I know self is Cher is very self-critical. She's like her worst enemy, but she really should love herself because, like, you exist and then you die, and especially if you're Cher, it's more like you're gonna die, and so you need to really just love. Because my girl is 120 years old, so she doesn't look it, but she is, and so you just need to love yourself. I love how Cher's mom is one alive, and two doesn't look her age either, which is like actually 96 or something like that. Pretty crazy. But yes, I always tout Cher as an example of good plastic surgery. Mine is that weird lump that she's developed on her lower lip over time because of filler migration. But beyond that, she's had like for her age, which is what 73, 74. Fuck, like she looks amazing.
Mm.
So, and she doesn't look. I mean, you can tell she's had surgery, but she doesn't look bad. She looks pulled because my girl's been pulled, but she doesn't look bad. It's good plastic surgery,
Oh yeah.
and so good for her. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of mainstream stars too. You know, Jennifer Aniston, Megan Fox, all gotten little nose tweaks here and there and whatever, you know.
Yes,
And everyone
and
and their
I don't
mom has
know.
gotten lip fillers. Mm?
Yeah, and that's I think a lot less serious because filler does dissolve over time. Not as fast as people think, mind you, but
Oh
it
yeah.
does. And so like if you hate that change, it'll either go away or you can get it dissolved. But
Hmm.
nose jobs to me are like a big thing, and I was talking to my boyfriend about this the other day actually, just like in an abstract form. Not that I want to get one, but oh, and if I did, so what? No, but I was talking to him about this, and I was like, when people get nose jobs, it's like it can go wrong really easily because the nose is the focal point of the face, and it's like, I mean, quite literally the center of your face. And so if you change that, your whole face changes. And so you can change it, but you just gotta be very careful about how and how much you do change it, so you
Hmm.
don't look like completely different or just like fucked up. It's very easy to fuck up a nose. I think like Jennifer Aniston, she got her first nose job before she was even on Friends, so
Hmm.
people know her with her new nose.
Hmm.
So there's nothing jarring about that. But like, fuck, dude, I can't even. There's so many I can't even think of them. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
Kim
like freezing right
Kardashian
now.
definitely nose
Yeah,
job. You know.
yeah, she definitely looks different. Like her whole face. Well, but she's also gotten done. She's also getting work done on the rest of her entire face, so she's not a good example.
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
example would be, I can't remember her name. The girl from Dirty Dancing. She got
Oh, something Gray. Christina
yeah,
Gray?
yeah, yeah.
Jean Gray?
Jennifer.
Jennifer Gray. There it
Jennifer.
is. Yes, Jennifer
Okay.
Gray.
So Jennifer Grey got a nose job, like soon after this movie, and
Hmm.
she didn't like get other work done, just a nose job. And she literally, I saw this video of her talking and saying, I couldn't get work after that because I didn't look like I looked in Dirty Dancing anymore. Which is funny because while she was filming Dirty Dancing, some producers were telling her, you have a big nose, ugly, delete it, fat.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
totally,
yeah,
totally.
and she deleted her fat nose, and then people were like, "Oh, you don't look like you used to. Ew, delete that."
Yeah, again, talk about the double standards. But I mean, it's actually surprising. I've been following like Instagram pages that show you like here are stars before and after they were famous, and it's literally like every star that gets work done. I mean, sometimes it's
Hmm.
like fillers, sometimes it's just like an eyebrow lift and things like that that aren't as obvious. But
Hmm.
every star to get that like picture perfect look has, especially I should say specifically
Hmm.
like female stars, I would say 80 or 90% of the time something has changed. You know, even if it's just
They've
like
all
small things
had
here and there.
some level of work done.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah.
like I don't blame them because like I'm not a celebrity, and I know that at some point I'm
Exactly,
gonna get something
exactly.
done.
And
So
we all know that, you know, a Mississippi 10 is an LA 6. You know, standards be
exactly.
crazy there,
it's
so.
it's just for me the only thing, and I watch his YouTube channel. It's great. The woman's name is Lori Hill. This woman has a YouTube channel, and she talks about celebrity plastic surgery, and she literally starts every video with her saying like, "Oh, this channel's about plastic surgery. If you don't like it, like, don't watch." And also, I'm not bashing anyone. I just want plastic surgery to like become a transparent thing. Like, I talk
Mm-hmm,
about my
mm-hmm.
own surgery, people should
Exactly,
talk about theirs.
exactly. I agree
And I
completely.
totally
Yeah.
agree. Like, girl, I got braces. Did I suddenly like lie to people after I got those off? Like if I was meeting someone for the first time and they asked me, "You have nice teeth," do you think I would just be like, "Oh yeah, they're natural"? Like people never lie about dental enhancements, for example, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
just say braces. Maybe that's some
Mm-hmm,
people lie
mm-hmm.
about their veneers, whatever. So why would you lie about other enhancements? Like it's just as shameless slash shameful as getting your teeth fixed. Like an enhancement is an enhancement, and if you don't lie about your braces, then don't lie about anything else. Like it's fine. It's fine. People get shit done. It's fine.
Exactly, exactly. And I do think it's like the double standard thing, which we talked about with Khloe Kardashian too, but where people want their beautiful stars, but they also once they hear someone has had work done, want to go to their like page or whatever and, you know, shame
Right.
them and be
Right.
like, "Oh, you're actually an ugly whatever." So I do
And it's
think people
especially
just need to
bad with
chill
women.
out. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, people get work done. That's why they have the look that you so badly want. Maybe if you don't want
Right.
people to get work done, you should just worship, I don't know, Amish women or something. Like, you know, it's like it's a win-win slash lose-lose thing based on how you look at it.
Right.
So I think it's just best to let it be, and be transparent about it.
I
Exactly.
I think the one thing that celebrities could do though to try to break the double standard is precisely to be more open. Because
Yeah,
like,
exactly, exactly.
like if you're a celebrity and people are like, you're ugly, and so then you work done and people are like, you got work done. If you're all of a sudden like come out and like, yeah, I got fucking work done because of pressure, but also maybe I just wanted it for myself and I wanted to look better. What are people gonna say? They're not gonna have anything to say in return. They're gonna be like, oh shit, okay, well she admitted it. Like, what now? Like, I
Yeah,
can't keep trolling her
exactly.
about it. Um, yes, but anyway, I don't think Paris Hilton has actually gotten like surgical work done ever, and she's 40 and she looks great.
I don't know.
So
I feel
that's
like,
bizarre.
well, I don't know. I'd have to
She
look again, but
look again, but she said and I watched this like hour and a half long documentary of her that she filmed last year. So like was looking at her face all the time, and I also am I like to think I'm good at spotting filler, Botox, surgery, etc. because I look at that stuff a lot. But she said in an interview like I have never gotten Botox or fillers. I do like a shit ton of facial and fucking shit and lasers and whatever, but I've never gotten like under the skin work, and I've never gotten like actual surgery. And I kind of believe her. Yeah, I think I do believe her. I think she just gets like really good like facials and lasers. I mean, this woman is made of money. Like, what couldn't she get? You know what I mean? And also,
mm-hmm.
maybe she just has really good genetics. And also, I don't think she's ever like gained like an ounce of weight since she was 21. So, there have been no like weight fluctuations to her face, which can make you look saggier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Just saying.
Well, I'm interested.
Yeah, look at pictures of her after this. But anyway.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Hi, welcome to the podcast, finally. You know what? All that bullshit is the podcast, okay? Don't come at me with, oh, you guys talk too much about shit that we don't care, and Free Britney, and my ass. One, Free Britney. Two, my ass. Three, today we're talking about McKamey Manor. So, I'm actually excited. This is fucked as shit. This is
Yeah.
really, really interesting. Really fucked
Yeah.
up.
Completely.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
You go, Sunny. You go ahead.
Okay, so I will, what is it, like, jump us off here? That's not quite the phrase. But I'll get us started here, just with some base information. So McKamey Manor has a couple of main locations now in Alabama and Tennessee. And the idea of the manor is that it's run by one man, Russ McKamey, who was in the military for about 20 years. And he has a deal where all you have to pay is a bag of dog food, because he has a lot of dogs. And in return, you get a night of torture. Oh my god. Incredible deal. No, so in return, you go to this manor. He selects you because he gets a lot of applicants these days because everyone wants to be tortured, apparently. So he selects people who are drug-free. There's a whole list of requirements here that I'll go into. But the idea is that he puts you through a like torture chamber type thing, and if you can last 10 hours, the theory is that you get $20,000. But literally no one has ever gotten the $20,000 in the
Right.
years that this manor has been running. So that's usually not, I mean, for the idiots, they are like, oh, let me go get that $20,000. But I think for a lot of folks, the appeal is more just the idea of getting a real horror experience. Like, it's literally called like a real life horror survival challenge. And getting like maybe a little bit of screen time because he makes videos of people like pleading to get out. And also kind of testing where their mental / physical limits are. I will say with the older manor, I'll read out the waiver too, and it just shows some crazy shit that could have happened. With the older manor,
How old is the manor, by the way? How long has it been around?
you
Do you
know,
know?
I actually need to look that up. I was just thinking that as well. I know it's been around since at least 2017, but I feel like it might be older than
Yeah.
that.
I think so. I heard maybe 2014, but I didn't look it up. But
Yeah, me
that
too.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely somewhat modern. He was taking videos the whole time. I mean, I guess
Right.
video's a pretty the development of
Yeah.
video isn't a
Yeah.
good
If
timeline
you
for
guys
this.
want to watch these videos, just look up McKamey Manor on YouTube. They're pretty brutal. But okay,
Yeah.
Sunny. So just to clarify,
Hmm.
there is a place called McKamey Manor
Hmm.
that is a haunted house that people can sign up to go to willingly
Hmm.
to get basically tortured for entertainment.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm.
Lit.
And the idea is that they have a chance at this $20,000, but no one has ever gotten that payout. Um,
Hmm.
so, in terms of the requirements, I will say, oh yeah, so the old manor, I think from like 2017 to 2019 and before, was more, well, it had both physical and psychological stuff, and it didn't have a safe word. So you signed a waiver. Here, I'm just going to read through some things on the waiver for the old mansion.
Ooh.
Um, the participant fully understands and agrees that they may be fish hooked, which may inadvertently cause ribbage to the mouth area. Participant fully understands and agrees that if they are selected to visit the dentist, that's put in quotes, they may have a tooth extracted without Novocaine and will not be able
Ah!
to hold McKamey liable.
What the fuck?
It is possible that joints, jaw, shoulder, elbow, wrist, knee, hip, etc., may be accidentally dislocated, and the participant will not hold McKamey responsible. They will be participating in various medieval torture devices, such as knife throwing while strapped to a spinning wheel, shackles, chains, gibbet
Oh
cage,
my
stocks,
god.
the rack, etc. Participant fully understands and agrees that water torture may be used. Fully understands and agrees that they may have a plastic bag or plastic wrap on their face, which could possibly cause suffocation, blackouts, etc. Participant will not hold a McKamey responsible or liable. Choking may occur, gagging or vomiting may occur, their hand may be smashed with tools, a nail may pierce their hand. It may include the use of hypodermic needles, zappers, tasers, or dog shot collars. Being scared, having a panic attack, etc. does not count as a serious injury. And here's again, this is from the older manor, but there's no quitting unless serious physical or psychological injury is present. So basically, under the old rules, he could torture you as long as he wanted, and there wasn't a safe word. And having a panic attack, being scared at list doesn't count as a serious injury. So they got to decide kind of when they were done with you.
Wait, okay, can I stop you for a second? This
Mm-hmm.
is fucking insane. So I've seen some of the videos on YouTube of participants while in the house, and they're getting slapped around, and they have cockroaches on their face or spiders on their face, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and obviously I think there's a reason why these parts are edited out. I've never seen, not that you could even upload this to YouTube, like
Mm-hmm.
nails through a hand or fucking, like some of the shit you said was like really really graphic,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've never seen that. I usually just see people like get slapped around and get bucks in their face, so
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking
And I
insane.
think he's toned it down a bit because the current iteration of the manor doesn't have as much physical stuff, and the stuff that you sign off to is more psychological, which is interesting too. But
Okay.
yes, the last few things on the old waiver are participant fully understands and agrees that they may come in contact with carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh my god.
Um,
What the fuck?
Fully understands that injuries may occur, which may include but are not limited to head, neck, and back injuries, death, stroke, traumatic brain injury, brain aneurysms, cerebral hemorrhage, blah blah blah, loss of consciousness, hematoma, whiplash, heart reactions, nausea, headache, dizziness, lacerations, broken or sprained bones, torn ligaments, bleeding wounds, scrapes and/or cuts, head stroke or drowning, and does not hold McKamey responsible. So he fully in this waiver said you could die and I would not be responsible. And
This is definitely a raw deal for the participant, obviously, but
yeah.
also, like, if I am this guy, right,
Hmm.
McKamey, I was operating this business, like, man, this is a dangerous business to operate, because if someone does accidentally, well, accidentally in quotes, right, die here, like, fuck, that's a big deal. You're going to court. It's gonna be a whole fucking thing. Um, I mean, okay, because like, okay, let me understand, because the thing that they're signing
Hmm.
says that, okay, says that they could die. Does that fall under the things the participant is acknowledging could happen and would not hold the manor liable for?
It does fall under that on the waiver. However, from what I've read, the waiver, like, absolves them of responsibility and whatever. But if someone
Mm-hmm.
dies, there's still a death, there's still going to be a trial.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and, oh yeah, last one here is that various fluids, such as food coloring, grease, theatrical blood, or other liquids may be placed in participants' mouth. It is participants' responsibility not to swallow these fluids. I will say for fluids, it's been noted on a couple websites that if you puke during the tour, they're likely to make you drink your own puke. Um, yeah, which honestly, once they dealt with the like dealing with your own puke, pee, and poop, that was a big one for me of being like, Oh no, I could not do that. Most definitely not.
Somehow, you know what's funny though? Somehow, I'd still rather like eat my own vomit or drink my own pee than have cockroaches on my face. That
Really?
is somehow still worse. Yeah,
Damn, I'm
because
definitely
like
on the other
yeah,
side for that. But yeah.
that is so funny. Yeah, but I think that is kind of irrational though, because I really hate cockroaches. I think maybe I should think more like you. But yeah.
No, no. I mean, that's the thing is everyone has their things. If anything, I think like the real person who might be able to survive this is someone who can fake their own fears really well, so that he like tortures you with the wrong things. But apparently that has not
Mm,
happened,
mm-hmm.
or someone would have made it through, or maybe they wouldn't have made it through anyway. But yeah, basically, totally insane waiver. From what I've seen, he has not killed anyone directly. There is one person who had a heart attack while at the manor. Um, I don't know the details of that. I would assume because of stress. But he hasn't like killed anyone, so he has restrained himself that far. But he has pulled teeth. There have been like broken bones,
Oh my
bleeding, like
god,
drowning,
no.
or not drowning, but like waterboarding type stuff. He claims that the waterboarding is very psychological and it's more because he's in your head than because he's actually drowning you. But I honestly don't trust him that much on that. Like,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, me neither. This guy sounds like a psychopath, and I've seen some videos of him talking, and he seems kind of like a little bit out of his mind. But to be fair, well, I love how I'm about to like defend waterboarding. To be fair, um, isn't that like a big component of waterboarding though? Like I remember hearing it during like hearing about it during the Bush era and how like there were troops, American troops using it in the Middle East, like whatever. Like it was like a thing, or like Guantanamo Bay, I think. And like the interesting thing about it was that like the person wasn't actually drowning, but like your body thinks you are. Like isn't that a thing
mm-hmm.
about waterboarding?
I think
So
so. Yeah,
so the guy isn't totally off then.
yeah, yeah. And honestly, after watching a lot of video of him, because I watched the video that's required for if you want to go to the manor, which is like pretty long. I mean, I watched most of it at 2 times speed, but
I love
there's
that.
definitely like it's interesting. I watched the videos of people giving up, and there's this one with this guy who seemed so chill. He was talking to Russ. He was like, "I'm sorry, man. I can't do it. Like, I'm sorry for being weak. Like, get me off, you know," and like saying the safe words and whatever that would get him out of there. And Russ was like straight up laughing and like clearly just having the time of his life. And then he said to the camera, like, "This is so fun. You have no idea." Um, and like,
Listen, I can't judge. Like the guy obviously gets off on this, but like it's fine? Question mark? Because these people are signing things, and like it all falls within this legal loophole, right? That makes it allowable.
yeah.
So
And
like
now that he has a safe word, I feel a lot better about it. I think with no safe word, like that is actually
yeah. So he has a safe
some of
word
the
now.
most terrifying stuff. Yeah, he has this like safe phrase it seems where you say like it's actually really funny. You say like Russ McKamey took my milk money and like ate my food. This McKamey Manor kicked my butt. You don't want to do this. That's like the phrase they have to say. Which is
Interesting.
so funny because that's the thing when you hear him talk, he's just like this old timey veteran. You know what I mean? Like you can tell from
Right.
that phrase what his personality is like.
Well, yeah. Wasn't he like in the Navy for like 30 years or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like
Like
that, where he
yeah.
undoubtedly got a lot of these ideas. Oh, another one that I saw that was kind of surprised me, just because like I don't think very often about ways that you could be tortured, is extreme temperatures. He like kind of froze some people or whatever, or put them in freezing water. Um,
Oh, by the way, everyone, trigger warning. Torture, I guess.
oh yeah, we should probably insert like that at the beginning, honestly. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so he's just done some crazy stuff. But I watched there's a Netflix special, well not special, but a Netflix series on like haunted tourist attractions type thing. And there's an
Mhm.
episode at the very end for McKamey Manor. And the main dude who's interviewing basically talks to McKamey directly after experiencing the mansion or the manor, my bad.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, you know, everyone thinks you're a psychopath who gets off on this. So are you?" And Russ goes like, "No, I'm so tired of people saying that, you know." And he goes, "I am an entertainer." And the thing is, I actually like. There is something pretty human about his tone. Is the weird thing. He doesn't give off I don't know if this is PC or not, but he doesn't give off school shooter vibes. Like he doesn't
Uh-huh.
give off that like I am super disconnected from everyone around me and like maybe a little unhinged vibes. He just gives out the vibes of like an old dude who's having a good time, who like
Mm-hmm.
I maybe is crazy to the extent that like most old guys are. But that's the weird thing is he like does have a human touch, and I think that's also the scary thing is that he starts off the tour with like a few hours of just chilling with people. He talked about like eating
Mm-hmm.
pizza and going over like the conditions and stuff. And I wonder when when I was like watching the thing for the current version of the manor that they have, you have to like complete tasks basically and like challenges to keep your like life level at a certain, you have to keep like these things called fail cards, and you lose them when you like lose challenges and stuff, and if you run out of them then you have to do like a break thing, and those break things are like what basically get people to break and get out of the manor. And if you run out of them you also and if you lose that break thing then you get kicked out, or like you can't win the 20,000. So I just thought about, yeah, it's really interesting how interactive it is now, because I think if it were just psychological and like there weren't physical stuff included and you just had to sit there and like deal with it, you know what I mean? Just like deal with whatever he does or like tells you to do or whatever. I could see it being more manageable. I mean, I imagine there's still some sick stuff that he could do, but I think because it has this interactive element of you having to participate and like actually be present in the moment enough to complete these challenges, and also like see him in a human sense before you get started, and then see him turn into this like whatever tormentor that he is and like do whatever he wants. I just imagine that adds a lot to like how much it like gets you. And it's also interesting, he keeps referring to it as a game. He really seems like very into this idea of like it's just a game, you have to remember it's not reality, and I think that's maybe
Well, I mean,
how
I don't
he...
think, frankly, legally, I don't think he could refer to it as any other thing if he doesn't want to get in trouble. That is.
No, exactly. But like it's just he thinks of it as a game, and I think that is probably how he has fun with it. I don't think that he's a psychopath. I think he's seeing these people freak out over stuff that doesn't seem that bad to him, and he
I mean,
feels much
like,
more
there's
like detached from it and like thinks it's a game than they do, so he doesn't mind torturing them. That's what it seems like adds to the fun for him.
right. And in fairness to this guy's motives too, like he's currently like torturing people that literally came into his office and were like, I want to do this. So like, how, you know what I mean? So like if you're enjoying it, like, are you really like a psychopath? I don't think so, because like these people came to you, so you know what I mean.
No, it's true, it's
But
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
But on that note, though, I need to add, I did read something, which is that these waivers are kind of sketchy, right? Because the waivers themselves are fine. It's just that I've read accounts of people saying that these waivers are actually oftentimes signed under duress, because the participants don't really get to read them very much, because you go into the manor and they interview you and they prepare you, whatever, but the last thing that they do is they give you the waiver. That's the last thing you're actually doing, signing the waiver. And as soon as they like put it down at the desk, the some of the torture people start coming out, and they start like touching you or like slapping you or like moving you around, and you're still in like the office part of the manor, right? And they're like, oh, sign this, sign the waiver. So it's like the thing already started before you even signed the waiver, and so people argue like the waivers were trash because they're actually signed under duress, because by the point you're actually like about to sign, you're already being bullied into signing and into not reading the whole thing, which, yeah, that is very problematic. But also, there's no fucking way that you are going to put like you're going to this place, right? Like you've put yourself on a wait list for this place, which apparently has a very long wait list, and you haven't done any research or you haven't heard anything about it and about how terrible it is. There's no way you haven't heard any of that. So like, also, what are you expecting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's my
definitely.
thing.
And you do hear people like, I can see how you wouldn't imagine some of this stuff. Like I saw a clip that I'm pretty sure was a guy being buried in like shit. I'm pretty certain that was the clip.
Oh my god.
And definitely seeing that was like, oh,
Yeah.
they can do anything, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
there's only so much that you even conceptualize before going in. Oh, can I also tell you the
That is
funniest
true.
thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
McKamey Manor is listed as a non-profit on Wikipedia. I just find that
I
so
love
funny
that.
because it's obvious. I mean, it's true. What else can they call
Helping
it?
the world.
The
Okay,
last
wait. So
bastion against capitalism. You know what I mean? McKamey Manor.
where is McKamey Manor?
There's actually two sites now. He started off with one in Tennessee, but he also has one in Alabama. And or did he start out with one in Alabama? What I know
Wait,
is
wait, wait.
that.
I thought our house was in San Diego.
Oh no, that was his. Oh yeah, okay. He started off in California in San Diego, but he is now in Tennessee and Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and from what I've heard, if you like beat or not beat, but if you do well enough at the Tennessee Manor, you'll get like a second round at the Alabama Manor. But I don't think that's happened for anyone yet.
That almost sounds to me like the South is way cheaper,
No,
land wise to like
literally,
do shit
no,
on, and so now he
exactly,
can just have two
exactly.
manors just cause.
Yeah, no, because he's famous enough now to where people will come to him instead of him having to be in a like populated location, you know. And he can be in the middle
Yeah,
of
that
nowhere
makes
and like
sense.
not have neighbors who complain. Because from what I've heard, it is not. People do not
Yeah,
like
because I'd
living next to
imagine,
this guy.
I would imagine that while he was in San Diego, like San Diego is, packed and small and expensive, that
hmm
while he was there, he was probably next to some business or residential area. And so in the South, you don't have to worry about that. Just buy a plot of land in the middle of nowhere and just fucking do it there.
No, exactly. And honestly, like, I just feel like the people in the South aren't at. Well, yeah, I would imagine it would just be an
I
easier location to
actually,
do it.
well,
Although,
I know what you're about to say, but I actually heard there was a petition when he announced that he was moving the manor to Tennessee. A petition, a bunch of people that gathered some number of thousands of signatures that were like, "No, don't bring it here. It's problematic and bad and
oh,
torture."
that's actually a good point because folks are, Christian and
I think
which
so.
in this case
Yeah.
I'm not insulting at all. Actually, I mean I kind of welcome a petition against this, but
I mean, right. So let's throw some more, no pun intended, let's throw some more dirt on, and let's throw some more shit on McKamey Manor, because I feel like we haven't done that enough. So
mm.
what are your thoughts on the most problematic part of this thing existing?
Oh, what do I think the most problematic part is?
Of this being a thing that exists and that you can go to, yeah.
That is interesting. I think the most problematic part is, well, if there is, like you mentioned, coercion around waiver signing, I think that's hugely problematic. And actually, that he could
Mm-hmm.
be likely sued for that because a
Right.
contract signed under duress isn't valid. But just reading the older accounts freaks me out a lot, where there's no safe word. Like you sign a waiver, sure you sign a waiver, but at the end of the day, someone just having the right to torture you in any possible way they want for any number of hours before letting you go. Um,
Right.
Maybe that's
I
something
mean,
that we shouldn't allow just for the good of people who are stupid enough to sign that waiver. Honestly, like that's one of those things of
I
like
know.
safety versus
Listen.
liberty, where I'm like, maybe we should go safety here.
Listen, the law is supposed to protect the unwise too. So,
Mhm.
yes, I agree. I mean, I am slightly mad at these people for putting themselves in this kind of
Oh,
situation,
very. If I
but
were their
also,
mom, they would not hear
right,
the end of it. But yeah.
right, but also legally speaking, it is definitely the responsibility of the manor to not have participants sign waivers under duress. That is literally illegal if that is really
Mhm.
what's happening.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's like with most things in life, right? Like you don't want to rely too much on the law helping you out with X or Y or Z. You really want to more like maybe avoid situations where you will need the law to support you in things, because you know what I mean. Like
No,
just
no,
save yourself the
exactly.
trouble.
A hundred
Right.
percent. Yeah, and I do. I can see maybe just doing it if you're interested in the experience and you're ready to drop out early. Um, but
But yeah, but like, okay, I hear there's like a wait list with 20,000 fucking people on it, and some people on Reddit are like, "That's a lie. There's no way." Because like, how? What? Like, why? But maybe it's true.
here's
Like,
the
that's
thing. Mm.
what.
Our I don't think they understand how failed our education system is. It does not surprise me in the slightest that there would be 20,000 people willing to sign up and wait in a line for this. If anything, I'm willing to bet that 10,000 of those 20,000, if not more, genuinely think they have a chance at the 20,000. I love that. In the video, he kept saying, like, maybe you think you're the one that's different, that the Navy SEALs who've come through here, the Green Berets who come through here, like, you're going to do better than them. And good for
Hmm.
you, you know? So I have to agree
Mm-hmm.
with him there. I think that that's just stupid. But sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, that just I totally agree with what you're saying, and I think I think a lot of people, especially people who are very much about like, oh, I am tough-minded and nothing can break me, especially those people, very much underestimate the fragility of the human mind. Because let's be honest, like someone can starve you for a couple of days, you're already losing your shit, unless you're like used to that or you're like Gandhi, like or
Exactly.
you know what I mean, or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you get beat around for a couple of days, with no rest. Like you're gonna lose your like. It doesn't take a lot for like the human mind to start slipping, and then once it starts slipping, it really doesn't take a lot for it to like slip all the way to the fucking bottom and for you to lose your mind.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm. I also think
I
there's this
mean, yeah.
paradox of like the people who are actually wisest and toughest wouldn't sign up for something this stupid.
Oh, well, yeah, no shit, no
um,
fucking shit.
so no, exactly. It's like I would imagine that some of the toughest people I can think of, which would be like probably folks not from the U.S. or like
Uh huh.
yeah, just like the toughest people are gonna be like folks, yeah, just folks who wouldn't be interested in this. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
imagine someone from like the Russian backwoods being like, "I don't need to experience that. I experience that in homeland every day."
no,
Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Um, uh, but yes, okay. So there are too many accounts of people with like develop PTSD from this, which it's
Mm,
unsurprising.
mm-hmm.
And that to me connects very much to what I just said about like how easy it is for your mind to start slipping. And I just think people need, okay, so here's the thing. I think people need to stay away from this. I think most people who are interested in this should probably stay away from this. I also don't think the manor should be pressured into shutting down, or
Mm-hmm.
like you
Mm-hmm.
can pressure it whatever if you're like the public. I guess I mean like it shouldn't be legally forced to shut down,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like then you get into muddy waters about like what businesses can do, how they can or cannot operate. And given the fact that this is all, again, minus the potentially problematic waiver signing, the fact that this is all happening within like legal boundaries would make it very problematic if you like were to shut this non I love how it's a non-profit, this non-profit down. But you know what I mean, because like, okay, but why, like
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, if it's illegal, why? And if you don't have a why, like that's not good. Like the law is like must be upheld equally for everyone, regardless of your personal taste or distaste for something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I think.
No, definitely. And there's an interesting overlap too here of like if you're gonna shut this down, maybe with the reasoning of like people can't sign up for something if it physically hurts themselves, let's say, then
Hmm.
what about like fetish clubs and stuff? You know,
Right,
it's
totally.
a tough it's I definitely see where you're coming from with it being like um a tough line to figure out, and I just wish honestly what it reminds me of is like my college self going out and just doing really stupid things. I definitely
Hmm.
remember like yeah, I definitely just remember going out and doing stupid stuff and then being like, damn, I really regret that, and then doing more stupid stuff. I mean, nothing like life
Right.
threatening or like that left me with PTSD, but definitely some stuff that really sucked at the time. And I can only imagine if it were something like this. Just, how many
Do
like.
you think you would have done it?
No, no, I don't think I would have, but I'm just envisioning how many stupid young people are doing it and then regretting it afterwards.
Right.
And not just to say young people, I guess stupid people in general. I don't discriminate. Um,
So
but
here's the thing. Like
yeah.
we're older, we're adults. You're in your 50s, I'm in my
Oh
40s,
yeah, no,
and I
I.
think because of
That's actually
that,
a good point. I'm definitely one of the stupid young people. Mm.
I think because of that, we have, oh, or for, as a matter of fact, really, we have developed a lot more empathy. Like our brains are fully developed than we when we were younger. Or I mean, the thing too is that like there's a lot of adults going to this, right? It's not literally teenagers, but whatever. They're
Mhm.
stupid adults. What I'm trying to say is like we are looking at this from a very empathetic point of view, and a lot of people who want to shut this down, I think, have the best of intentions, which is like, you know what, like some kind of governmental body needs to step in order to help people like protect themselves from themselves, right? From making
Mhm.
stupid
Mhm.
decisions and engaging in things that harm themselves. Here's the thing. I totally get that. I think that's very much like the um, like emotionally empathetic thing to wish, but I that's such a slippery slope. Like, no, number one, no, the government isn't there to protect you from yourself, and nor do I wish it would be. Like, the thing about a place like McKamey Manor is that it is just one kind of gross manifestation of this omnipresent concept of like freedom of choice, which is something, like people love to like lick the US's butthole about, and like rightly so. Like freedom of choice is a great thing, like the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And like if you were to penalize something like this, or if you were to prohibit it, that is very problematic to me. And so I hate it and I want to delete it, but also I acknowledge that its existence is important.
I don't know. I
That
do
is what I
think
think.
I do think it's the government's job in certain contexts to protect you from yourself. I think the classic example is seatbelt laws. I definitely am a proponent of seatbelt laws with like, yeah, it's like a life or death thing. It takes you a second. Like the inconvenience versus the risk is like, yeah, go ahead and make that a law. Like I'm okay with
I
that.
mean,
So,
I guess I'm just thinking about that is actually a very good rebuttal to what I'm saying. Like, oh, what about seatbelts? I guess I'm just thinking about like fetish clubs or like just outlaw BDSM then, or even things like alcohol, cigarettes. Dude, fucking cigarettes. Like cigarettes, like we've known they kill people for like forever, and we're like, yes, cigarettes, yes, and we still sell them. So, like, where do you draw the line?
mm-hmm.
There's not really an answer that we can give on this podcast, but that is the big question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, definitely. I was just saying, I could see there being like a reasonable law that prohibits something like McKamey Manor without prohibiting fetish clubs, using some kind of line around like, is there lasting psychological damage or physical damage? Like, what is the severity of it?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. I mean, I could see it. I'm not sure that I have a super strong opinion on it because at the end of the day, it is like people sign into this willingly, and I can kind of see it existing or not existing, and honestly, I could be fine either way. Um, but
Right.
yeah, there's definitely something a little unnerving about it. Oh, I also don't know if I read the requirements. Did I? For like what you have to be to get in?
No, read them.
Okay. So requirements in order to apply are to be 21 and above or 18 through 20 with your parents' approval. You have to complete a sports physical and have a doctor's letter stating you are physically and mentally cleared. You have to pass a background check, be screened via Facebook, FaceTime, or phone. You have to have proof of medical insurance, sign a 40-page waiver, and pass a portable drug test on the day of the show. Can I also just say, like, again, he's just a funny, like, kind of silly old man, he gives the impression. Like, when he was doing the video, he was saying stuff like, the manor will chew you up and spit you out no matter what. And he said that phrase a lot, but he would mix it up. He would say, the manor will spit you up and chew you out, no matter what, or like whatever. He just did these little things that were like kind of funny, and I don't know, that's just like a funny touch. Or even the website that I'm looking at right now is like so cheesy and could have been made in like a 90s Microsoft Paint.
I did
Like,
look at the website,
yeah,
yes.
it literally says Cerevial Horror Challenge. Like, they did not spell survival even close to correct. They're missing a V straight up. They have an extra I. I don't know what's going on here. It's just, yeah, so it's just funny that this like terrifying thing is headed by this. I don't
Right.
know,
He
like,
seems he seems fairly charismatic. I have seen him on video, and like I said, he seems a little bit out of his mind. I think I mostly got that impression because I can't forget the fact that he is the creator of this thing. But to be
exactly.
fair, in a vacuum, he is charismatic. Um, yeah. So now I want to bring something up that is really interesting.
Mm.
So I don't know about these two things that I'm going to talk about, whether they happened before or after the manor, but I'm going to guess after. And it's just, I'm talking about the fact that McKamey Manor isn't the only one of its kind. There
Mm-hmm.
are other experiences around the world that do the same thing, from what I can gather, less gruesomely than McKamey Manor, but still pretty horrifying, right? So there's
Mm-hmm.
this one place called the Victim Experience, which is part of the Freakling Bros show in Las Vegas. It's like a thing, and it's the same thing. You go to a room, a house, and you experience like full physical contact, like electricity, drowning, suffocation, like basically simulated death scenarios. And they do have a safe word, but if you look at their website, it's like there's a shit ton of information on the kind of stuff that you're like signing away for, and also there's more detailed paragraphs on the kind of torture that you might endure, and it's very reminiscent of McKamey Manor, and also just interesting that there's more places like this. Like, I guess people
Yeah.
can't. I mean, like, there's an audience. There's clearly an audience, and I'm kind of horrified, but also curious.
Yeah, that there's enough of a demand for this. I mean, if it
That's
weren't as
exactly
hardcore as McKamey Manor, if it were just like a person who wanted to, I don't know, insult me and like maybe put me in a cold lake for a few minutes until I said uncle, like I could see it. um,
right. Right.
but yeah, I think it's the severity. But yeah, no, it's kind of wild that there's a whole audience for this who like it's interesting too because all the stuff that he says to turn you away is also clearly a marketing tactic. Like the fact that to
Obviously.
say the safe phrase for people includes you don't want to do this. Like people literally have to say like he did this kicked my butt. You don't want to come
Right.
here. Like everyone is trained to have to say that, and then of course tons of people are signing up. It's just such a I feel like they're all characters in a horror movie. Like that's their intelligence level right now. You know what I mean? It's like
I don't disagree. I don't. Okay, so there's another one. It's called the Blackout Experience. This one's in New York,
hmm,
and if I like had to attend one of these three between Blackout, McKamey Manor, and the Victim Experience, it'd probably be Blackout because this one's actually like purely psychological. It is apparently pretty scarring, actually, but there's not like bugs in your face and like being thrown around and cuts and whatever.
mm-hmm.
It okay, so there's not a lot of information on the website trying to make it mysterious. There's a lot of reviews, to kind of like titillate you, but there's then actually like a lot of footage. But from what I could see, it's a long ass like house with a lot of hallways. It's very dark. You have to be 18 or older to walk, and you have to walk through alone. And so this is definitely more of a haunted house kind of thing than McKamey Manor. Like traditional haunted house where you're actually like walking through rooms and seeing things on your sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to read you a review that the New York Times put out when I'm guessing they sent one of their poor interns to
Oh
this
my
place.
god.
And this person says, the goal is clearly not to give your nerves a safe tickle. It's to titillate, unsettle, and generally mess with your mind. It succeeds magnificently, but its greatest accomplishment is that most of the shocks take place inside your head. Giving away too much would ruin the fun, but imagine a pinter pause dragging on for minutes, but instead of watching it from the comfort of your seat, you are living it. It's not merely a cheap trick. This production has a fairly consistent narrative, and the way it evokes dread is more psychologically perceptive than most shows on Broadway. I mean, yeah, again, if I had to, I think this would be the one to pick. Interesting. But again, there's enough demand for these things to exist. Obviously, these three aren't the only three of their kind. It's just kind of insane.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't even watch horror movies generally. I like thrillers and like I'll watch a horror movie if someone else is into it. But like
Mm-hmm.
even that, like having not knowing when a jump scare is gonna come and like stuff like that,
Oh
it just
yeah,
gets me too on
yeah.
edge and I don't end up actually enjoying myself. So imagining
I
a real
know.
life like God, yeah. Maybe just
I hate I hate haunted houses for that same reason because like I
mm,
hate the like anticipation, even the really mild ones. But I still do them just because like I don't know, I'm drawn to it, which I guess explains, you take that and you magnify it times 100, and it explains why some people want to go to these places.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, there was a
yeah,
scene where McKamey mentioned like the folks who come here are adrenaline junkies, and I definitely believe that. Like,
right.
if you go into it knowing that you're gonna get tortured and knowing that you're gonna like want to say uncle and you just want to like test yourself, I feel like I have more understanding for that than the folks who are like, I'm gonna be different and win the 20,000 and like beat this guy at his own game, you know? Um,
Right.
Like maybe for hardened adrenaline junkies, if this is really what you want to do, because he does have some positive reviews. You know, people who come out being like, "This is the best horror experience." You know, once they've had time to like shower and get a hold of themselves or whatever. But
Hmm.
that's the thing is, you don't know if you're gonna be. I mean, maybe you know yourself well enough, but It's difficult to predict if you're gonna be one of the people that comes out saying like, "Oh, that was sick," or one of the people that comes out just like, you know, traumatized by the sound of like, I don't know, whatever kind of shoe he was wearing or whatever it is. You know, just you never know with that stuff. So I personally definitely wouldn't be worth it, but maybe for someone else.
Yeah, you definitely have to be into the concept regardless of the money, because like 20,000 isn't enough for the kind of stuff that you're experiencing. Frankly, I don't think any amount of money in the world would make me like go there, because like hearing the stuff that you talk about, seeing some of the videos, it's too much.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no,
it's
exactly.
too much. Yeah. And a lot of money isn't gonna like fix your psychological scars, so that's the big thing for me. But
That's a good
anyway,
point. At the end of the day, I guess that comes down to the most valuable thing of all is your health, mental
I mean,
and
yeah,
physical.
literally,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, yeah, well, guys, I mean, literally, what else there is like is there to say? There's a ton of people that have. Oh, I guess there's one more thing to say that I think is really interesting. So this is also kind of problematic, and it is the fact that there have been people that call themselves survivors, which is interesting. That say that they've been to the to the manor. Obviously, they haven't actually made it through because no one has, but they've been to the manor, and they've quit halfway or whatever, and they have like scars from like bugs or cuts on their arms or whatever. But then they talk about how they also have a lot of psychological trauma, that McKamey Manor doesn't like fully disclose everything that's going to happen to you, even on the waiver, which I don't know if that's true. And a lot of these people are angry, and they want to take legal action. And a lot of these people will like make videos on YouTube talking about their experience, and then like some people will call them out, saying like, "Oh, but you made a video on on McKamey Manor's YouTube channel after you went there, saying that you were being interviewed by Russ, Russ McKamey, the creator of the Manor, and you were saying that you loved your experience." And these people will always come back saying, "No, like Russ will make you like be interviewed." In order for him to like release some edited footage of your experience on the YouTube channel. If you
Mm-hmm.
refuse to be interviewed, then he won't release it, and that means that if you ever do want to take legal action, like you don't have footage, and like footage could help your case a lot. You know what I mean? Even if it's
Mm-hmm.
heavily
Mm-hmm.
edited.
Yeah, I think I saw that same
Um,
testimony from like Amy something.
It's yes, and so that's very problematic. Like, I mean, the manor I don't think is under any obligation to post or not post any of the footage that they film,
Mm-hmm.
but it is definitely weird and coercive that if you do want that footage, the only way for you to get it is for you to, pretend to be happy-go-lucky on a post-experience interview, and almost like sign your credibility away by virtue of doing that interview, and saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. It was great." When really you like hate them now and you want to sue them.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the stuff that she described that she said, like, they didn't show video of is completely believable to me. She said that they had waterboarded her and she had said she wanted to quit and they just laughed at her. But I believe it all because it was all stuff that was on the waiver. If you remember them saying that
Right.
being scared
Right.
doesn't count as a serious injury and stuff like that. And I think that was footage from before, like back when the whole thing was more hardcore and there wasn't necessarily a safe word. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it's her or someone similar that has made them now implement the safe word thing. Um, but I mean, I believe it. I think it goes to show also that the folks, because McKamey, I don't think pays the people he works with. He works mostly solo these days, but he can't afford to because he
Mm.
doesn't charge people for going through the manor, or at least not that I saw. I mean, yeah, no, he said that he
No,
isn't
that's
getting much
true.
income from the manor, so I don't know how he would pay the actor people. So for the folks he recruits to do this kind of thing, even if he himself is not a psychopath, there's gotta be a handful among them, right? Like, yeah. So I just
I feel like I feel like him not charging people almost adds to the pile of evidence of maybe he is a psychopath.
Oh,
Because,
100%,
like,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He described like
That
his
is so
income
funny.
is just $800 per month from like Navy retirement. And other than that,
Oh
he
my
just gets the
god.
bags of dog food that people bring for his dogs. But
Dude.
yeah, yeah, no, just
Wow. Well, everyone, if you want a part two on this topic, don't. And also, if you like the episode, please do let us know. We hope you liked it. Please do let us know by following us and interacting with us on Twitter and Instagram at Talk Scary and on Facebook at Scary Talk. This was a really interesting one. Thank you for bringing it up, Sunny.
for sure.
Yeah. So that I have literally nothing else to say. That is what we have for you guys. I'm kind of grossed out a little. We hope you have a good night.
And please don't do this, y'all. If I found out that someone did this because they heard about it on this podcast, I would cry myself to sleep. So please, no one
Yes,
do this.
most definitely, positively, do not do this.
God, and that's just like an
um,
ad in and of itself. But yes, bye.
Bye, guys.